Bai is the sponsor of this video, and they're giving you 1,000 yen to spend if you haven't used them yet. Check them out in the link in the description. Kaiju, Dragon Ball, Pokemon, and more. It's Steven's Toy Reviews. Hello there, collectors. It's Steven here, and I'm bringing you another Deforeal review. Today, it's actually going to be a back-to-back review. It's going to be a double review. Why? Well, because we have two kaiju that go together like oil and water. We have the X Plus Deforeals, Ric exclusive Orga and Godzilla, 1999. Now, normally when we have a Ric exclusive, it's going to include an accessory or just maybe a different pose. Maybe, for an example, 1984 Godzilla, he was holding the reactor. In 1964, same pose, but it came with a bonus Mothra larva. Here, for Godzilla 1999, we get an alternate jaw accessory, and we get the big old boat that he was chomping on. But Orga here is a completely new sculpt. This is the Orga when it's getting ready to swallow up Godzilla. Both of these are different from their general retail counterparts, except Godzilla. We'll take a look at Godzilla in a minute, whereas the general retail version of Orga is just the normal version of Orga with a little Millennium alien. Ooh, I'll be getting those relatively soon. Anyway, for these, you had to place an order through X Plus directly, and now if you want to get them, you're at the mercy of the aftermarket. So if you are looking to pick these up, I do recommend checking out Yahoo Japan Auctions or even Mercari Japan, and the way you can do that is through Bai. You can get them for a relatively reasonable price, so definitely check out the link in the description if you're interested. Without any further ado, because I've been talking long enough, let's take a look to see whether or not these two goofballs are worth adding into your collection. So first and foremost here, we have Godzilla 1999, and when you open it up out of the box, it's going to have the default jaw, which is going to have a somewhat closed mouth. This is going to be closer to the general retail distribution version that you're going to be able to buy pretty much anywhere that has general retail items. That's not why you're going to be buying this. So let's go ahead and switch over to the Ric exclusive parts, which is going to include an open jaw, so this way he can hold the big ol' ship that he bit into in the movie Godzilla 2000 Millennium. Yeah, so this is really neat. Had to have this because I'm a huge fan of not only this design, but I have fond memories of seeing this in the movie theaters as a young one. So yes, had to absolutely get this. Now, one of the things I will commend X Plus for here is that they are always able to deliver in the sculpt department. It doesn't matter which Deforeal it is, I'm going to say that they are sticklers for the sculpted detail, and relatively speaking, very accurate. So yes, good job. Yes, they are chibi, they are SD, but still, they do look very, very accurate to the source material. If you take a look at one Godzilla design in the Deforeal line, you can say, yes, this is that Godzilla, or even any of the other kaiju that they've been doing as of late. One of the issues that I have been seeing, though, would definitely be in the paint department. Not all of them have been, let's say, as equal, relatively speaking, from paint to sculpt. And I would say that the dry brushing here for Godzilla, they did use a bluish green coloration for the dry brushing. Not exactly great in all areas. It does look like it was a little heavy-handed. It's even worse on Orga. But even then, I'm finding something to say that is negative here. Throughout the rest of the figure, we're going to have those wonderful dorsal plates that are a metallic purple, which really catch light wonderfully. The eyes actually have a translucent dome over them, so this way they really are able to recreate the details from the suit. I mean, I don't really know what else to say here aside from they did a really good job. Again, if I have to pull something negative out of this, it's going to be a little heavy-handed on the dry brushing, and even then, you're only really able to see that when we're looking up close and personal. Now, do take note, I'm only talking about the looks here. There is a legitimate issue, which I will be bringing up closer to the end of this video. Why? I need you to watch. Yeah, sorry. But anyway, I've been doing a nice little... Now, he does come with that boat. I know it's a ship. I'm calling it a boat because boat is cute, like this Godzilla. And it looks just fine as well. I will say it is a little difficult to get it in the mouth of Godzilla. And again, you will see why in just a little bit. But still, it is just fine looking. Just make sure you line up the holes in the boat with the teeth in the mouth, and you're good to go. Here's an ending shot for this section for Godzilla with his mouth open. Yes, you don't have to keep the boat in the mouth. Now it's time for Orga. Again, this is the phase of Orga where he's going to go ahead and absorb and eat Godzilla. And it looks very, very good. It is a fantastic mashup of the design of Orga alongside Godzilla 2000. I alternate between 2000 and 1999. To be honest, I just refer to it as Godzilla 2000. But anyway, yes, very, very good. There are some areas that definitely could be improved. Like I said before in the Godzilla section, the dry brushing of the dark bluish greenish color on Orga is more heavy-handed than on Godzilla, but again, I'm looking for something to pull to say negative, just so this way people can't say that I'm being overly biased towards this figure, saying it's good. Overall, though, the paint applications on this are awesome. The dorsal plates, which this figure does have, which are not as clean because of the design in and of itself, it's going through the transformation of absorbing Godzilla. The dorsal plate paint that we have looks great. We do have the mouth, which is absolutely disgusting. It's very meaty, sinewy. It's great. We have a nice paint transition that's going to go from an orange to a pink all the way to the back, which they could have done a little better. It is rather not subtle from the orange to the pink, but, you know, hey, it gets the job done. We do have the different colors on Orga's underbelly, on his hands. It all just blends in relatively well, and I do have to say that they did a good job here. There's nothing to really complain about because guess what? When you have a figure that looks good from pretty much every angle, well, surprise, surprise, it's going to actually look good. And that is what I am very happy to say, especially for the price tag of these guys. Orga's base price is going to be somewhere around $120, and Godzilla's is going to start somewhere around the $70 mark. And again, that's going to be for the Ric version, just because it's the Ric version. Okay? Okay. And again, the sculpted details on this are phenomenal. There are so many different aspects of this figure that I could just keep going on and on and on about, but hey, you have the gist of it. The one thing that I will say that is a legitimate issue, regardless of your perception of paint quality, is that the figure does tend to rock and it doesn't lay flat, even with all the feet and the hands and the tail on the surface table at once. It does rock a little bit, which, I don't know, maybe it's just a mind thing. Anyway, there's no articulation for these guys, so we're going to go ahead and move on over to a size comparison so you can see just how big these are with some of the other figures you just might have on your shelf. All right. Now, here's that legitimate issue I was talking about for Godzilla 2000. It does have an alternate jaw part, and unfortunately, it's relatively easy for that jaw part to fall out. Yeah, so getting the boat to fit in the mouth, it can be difficult to do, so you're going to have patience with that, so just be careful. Yeah, I know I'm really exaggerating that here, that the jaw likes to fall out by, you know, kind of shaking Godzilla a bit, but no, trust me, it does like to fall out. Another thing is that Orga is not super tall, and you have to force a picture of it eating Godzilla. So if you want to get that picture, you're going to have to fiddle a little bit, and you're going to have to stage it. So buy now, skip, or wait for a deal. Generally speaking, if you're going to be getting one of these, chances are you're going to want to get the other, and yeah, they're perfect complementary pieces. Yeah, worth the purchase. And again, depending on where you're looking for aftermarket prices, because that's the only way you're going to be able to get these, you're going to be paying a pretty penny, so definitely check out Yahoo Japan Auctions and Mercari Japan. And the best way to do that is going to be through Buyee, and again, you get a 1,000 yen coupon for your first time use if you check out the link in the description. Okay? Yeah, so in sum, the issues that we have, subjective, I think they were a little too heavy-handed on the blue dry brushing for Godzilla and Orga, and objective, Godzilla's jaw likes to fall out a whole lot. It's very easy to do, and Orga doesn't sit flat. It likes to rock, which they shouldn't have that issue for the price. But otherwise, you bet I'm happy with this. Yeah, I'd buy him again. Well, collectors, that brings us to the end of the video today, and I just wanted to take a second to thank you so much for watching. Now, you've heard a lot from me. I'd like to hear a little bit from you. Drop in the comments down below whether or not you liked it, you hated it, or maybe you were somewhere in between. I also want to take an extra second here for a nice, humongous thank you to all the patrons for SDR over the last month who have really helped the channel grow into what it can be today. So to all of you, 2 big thumbs up. Thank you very much. And now the end card should be popping up, which will give you a few clickable links, like maybe to subscribe or head on over to my Patreon, or some short URLs like to my social media or to my Teespring store. There's also a video I hand selected for you, so if you want to watch another STR video, I hand selected some good content for you to watch, so definitely check out that video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll catch ya in the next video.